All right, Steve, the big question on everybody's mind, new necromorphs. What are they? How are you going to scare us this time? What'd you bring new to the table?
So we've got a few of those necromorphs. We've got the Puker, which will actually slow Isaac down through the use of a projectile that's like a snare object. So it's like this, it's almost like the necromorph version of stasis. So if Isaac gets hit by it, it'll slow him down. He's also got this acidic bile vomit that he can shoot onto Isaac and damage him. But the cool thing about that is, with all of the enemies, we really want the players to be really strategic. Another new guy that we've got, this is more of an environmental hazard. It's called the Cyst. So it's this little like pulsating, sucky thing that shoots out these little explosive pulses. And again, with the same idea, you can lure enemies near it, and that can take them out. Or you can actually grab that pulsating sack and fire it back at other enemies. We've improved the Leaper. So he was in the first game. We've really tweaked him up to make him a lot more challenging, scary. We've got a new enemy called the Tripod that you're going to encounter throughout the game. This giant tripod-like guy that's going to have these really nasty claws and this big spike that comes out that he can, stab Isaac with. The Pack is somebody that we've talked about before, which is the little character that will scuttle around and attack in numbers. So rather than having 3 or 4 necromorphs at once, with the Pack you might have 10 coming at you at once. So that really puts you on your heels, makes you think and feel differently. And then the Stalker is probably one of the coolest ones, I think, because that's just totally mixing it up for players.
Is there anything in this game, creature-wise, because we've got a Puker now, and we've got a Cyst, so is there anything that you guys were like, I just don't know if we should put that in here? Anything that was just a little too much?
No.
Not at all?
No. What's really cool about the team, while they are very twisted and come up with some really bizarre and creepy things, it's always relevant to what we're trying to do. We're not just trying to come up with things for shock value. It really needs to, again, to go back to what Dead Space is about. We're trying to create something that's gritty, relatable, and believable. So, with our science fiction, we don't want it to be magical. We want it to be, something that you could realistically see in the future. And so, with those kind of rules set around what we're doing, we tend to kind of stay in the right ballpark.
When you come up with the Puker, do you think, how can this be used against the character? Or did you think about all the things he was going to do first and then build the strategy around that?
Well, it's kind of a mix of all of the above. The concept guys and the art direction and production designers will come up with what the character may look like. Then the design guys will look at it and go, okay, maybe we could do this, maybe we could do that.
Right.
And so it's kind of a mix, but we certainly are always focusing on the gameplay element and how that can be unique and fun. We want each enemy to feel different, as I was saying, and really make you feel and think in different ways. We really just focus in on that. So with the Puker, for instance, it was, obviously Puker, going to puke.
Right.
But then the snare idea was, how do we augment what we have going on with the other enemies? How can we, bring this guy into the mix and really intensify a combat setup? And that's where we came up with that idea of the snare that actually slows the player down. It creates a different feeling and a different emotion. You start to get panicked, and it's scary.
What's the scariest thing in this game to you?
It's difficult, Blair.
Yeah.
It really is. I've seen them all a lot. I think the one that probably makes me tense up the most is probably the Stalker. It really behaves differently. It's very smart. It can get you to kind of want to throw the controller down. So probably the Stalker.
The game comes out on January 25th. Make sure to check it out. Xbox 360, PS3, and the PC. Thanks for being here, man.